Today we're gonna make the most metal ketchup bottle ever.
Dreadlabs.
What's going on everyone, my name is Tom from Dreadlabs and I'm a graphic designer. So lately on my YouTube feed a couple of videos have popped up about oversimplifying or overcomplicating some brand designs. And this got me thinking, how can I capitalize on this? I'm just kidding. As you might know, if you've seen more videos from my channel, I usually design something more metal or rave-like, or you know, I have this specific niche that I design most of my stuff in. So I was like, maybe I can use this video format and I'm gonna try to, instead overcomplicating or oversimplifying this brand, I'm gonna make this more metal. So that's exactly what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna grab the Heinz ketchup bottle and we're gonna see if we can make this into a death metal like ketchup bottle. So before we head into the video, I just wanted to tell you that you can get the PSD, Illustrator and Cinema 4D files that I'm gonna be making in this video. There's a link down in the description, or stick around until the end of the video to learn more. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I think the first thing that I want to be doing is I'm gonna change the shape of the ketchup bottle. So this is our standard ketchup bottle, and as you can see, this isn't metal at all. So what I want to be doing is basically change the shape of this ketchup bottle and turn it into a 3D object with the bottle. And then we're gonna redesign the label. So I figured for the actual bottle shape, like death metal logos are unreadable, this bottle should be unable to grab. So essentially we're gonna use some tribal shapes and stuff like that in order to create the shape of this bottle. So let's draw out a couple of shapes here. And if you want to learn more about how I make these tribal shapes in Adobe Illustrator, I have a video on it. There's a link down in the description as well, but it will also pop up in the corner of the screen as we speak. Future Tom here. So at first I thought I'd make a tribal shape for the bottle in Illustrator, but then I decided to sketch the bottle in Photoshop first using my pen tablet. Okay, so this is the shape that I want to go for, and what we're going to be doing is basically turn this into a vector shape in Illustrator, and then we're going to drop that into Cinema 4D in order to create a 3D format of this. And while we're at it, let's figure out how we're going to put the label on there, because I do want the label to be like kind of similar, because this bottle sticker is actually kind of famous, you know. Future Tom again. You can already see that putting a normal label on this bottle shape isn't really working, and this will screw me over later in the process. Looking back now, I probably shouldn't have tried to redesign the bottle shape itself as well. Anyways, alright, so we're in Illustrator right now, and what I'm going to be doing is basically try to almost trace this tribal shape with some ellipses. And the reason I'm doing this is because these ellipses are basically the closest we can get to like a perfect round shape compared to using the pen tool. And after this we're going to do some shape building to end up with the actual shape of the bottle, and then we're going to put that into 3D. So if you want to learn more about how I use this technique, I have a video about this on my YouTube channel. It looks like quite a hassle, but like I said, this gets you nice and sharp vector tribals in the end. Alright, so this is the general shape of our ketchup bottle here. And basically what we're going to do is copy this to a new document. I'm going to paste this in. I'm going to save this as bottle shape. But before we enter OK in this menu, we're going to be sure that this is checked on to Illustrator 8. And I'll click OK. Alright, so we're going to open this in Cinema 4D. And as you can see, this is now open as a spline. So make sure that this is aligned in the middle. And now begins the process of turning this into an actual 3D bottle. At first, I'm extruding this and then using the volume measure and volume builder to make a smooth model out of this. I'm also using some cylinders to create a bottle cap. I also came up with a method to create a smaller version of the bottle itself to create a ketchup liquid, but there's probably a better way to do this. I'm not a Cinema 4D expert, and especially not in modeling. Finally, I made a small studio setup so I could make a clean product shot of the bottle later. Alright, so we have a draft of what this bottle is going to be looking like. As you can see, I played a little bit around with the materials and stuff like that, and now I think it's time to design the label. I think this bottle wouldn't even be standing up straight, to be honest, but I don't know. Anyways, let's design the label. Sketching the shape of the label was quite easy. I used the symmetry option in Photoshop to sketch the base shape and used a sharp eraser to make sure that all of the ends are tapered and sharp. Alright, so the shape that we drew, I dropped this into Illustrator, and basically what we're going to be doing is grab the image trace window here, click on preview, and we're just going to be making sure that it still has these hard edges, and I think this is just good to go. So let's go to advanced and make sure that ignore white is on. So basically that means that we don't have any backgrounds we need to worry about. And if we click on expand, we now have a vector shape of our label. Let's just grab our reference once more, and what we're going to do is go to object, path, offset path, and we're going to inset this actually, so that we use these like the really recognizable outlines, as you can see there. because I think that we still need to have a little bit of recognizability in the logo here. Using the offset path and Illustrator helps me create all of the colors and outlines that the regular Heinz label also has here. Alright, so I'm gonna do the custom typography for Heinz here, but for the rest of them I'm just gonna use a preset font, because otherwise I'm gonna be sitting here for the rest of the day and I don't have time for that, honestly. But a good font that's on Adobe fonts that you can use for this type of designs, basically any script English font I think, but one of my favorites is called Graveblade. It's quite legible and still has that metal feeling, so we can use that for tomato ketchup. And something that I think is quite funny is, let's just grab a dead plant instead of like the nice lush tomato plant that you can see on the label. Alright, so let's bring this label back in Photoshop. And let's draw out the final part of our design, which is the Heinz logo. So for this Heinz death metal logo, I'm drawing it fairly small. If I had to make this logo for an actual client or project, I'd make sure that the canvas was way larger. Anyways, I have a step-by-step tutorial on how I usually design these logos in my Patreon channel if you're interested. In short, I start out using the symmetry option and then go towards creating an actual word and add the details afterwards. Alright, so that's the label done, I think. So let's just save this as a PSD file and let's see if we can put this label up on this bottle. And here comes the problem. There was absolutely no easy way to map the sticker onto the bottle, since the mapping was all weird, but also because the two shapes are so completely different from each other that it just wouldn't work. That's what you get when trying to redesign a complete packaging and label within 90 minutes, I guess. Alright guys, there you have it. Some errors as you can see, sadly, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the result. I had a lot of fun doing this actually, and maybe I want to do more product design, even though I wouldn't recommend myself designing a package because I'm pretty sure this bottle would tip over immediately. Anyways, I still had a lot of fun doing this, and like I said, if you want to get the project files for this video, so that includes the Cinema 4D files you can see on the screen right here, the Photoshop files and the Illustrator files of all my process in this video, you can become a patron of mine. Thanks to my patrons, I'm actually able to make weekly videos for you guys, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford my bills doing YouTube full time. By becoming a patron, you'll get access to over 100 project files from all of my tutorials, which includes over 100 PSD files, over 60 Illustrator files, After Effects files and Cinema 4D files, and much more. A 15% discount in my Assets web store where I sell textures, vector packs and more, as well as an exclusive Discord role in the Dreadlabs Discord community server. And if you go 1 tier up, you'll also get access to exclusive videos such as how to start your own clothing brand from scratch, how to make your own death metal logos such as the one that I made in this video, and many more exclusive tutorials. So if you want to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. But if you don't have the budget to support Dreadlabs like that, of course that's completely fine as well, because leaving a like, comment and a subscribe if you haven't already does a lot as well. So with all of that being said, this is Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hopefully see you guys in the next video.